What if I told you that your nightly trips to the bathroom aren't a problem with your bladder, but a problem with your brain? Sounds alarming, I know, but the latest medical research directly links frequent nighttime awakenings, it's called Nocturia, with an increased risk of cognitive decline and, yes, dementia. But don't panic. Please don't be scared. Just because there's a risk doesn't mean it's a given. It's the opposite. This is an early warning signal. It's the check engine light on your body's dashboard. And the fact you're watching this video means you've already noticed that light. My job today isn't to scare you. It's to empower you, to arm you with knowledge. I'm going to explain why this dangerous link exists. And most importantly, I will give you a clear step-by-step, science-backed action plan. Watch this video to the end, and you'll walk away not with fear, but with peace of mind and a clear understanding of what to do tonight. So let's start with the biggest misconception. We all think, I woke up because I had to go to the bathroom. Makes sense, right? But what if it's the other way around? What if you woke up first, or rather, your brain pushed you out of sleep, and only then did you realize your bladder was full? This is the key idea that changes everything. Let me explain. When we talk about cognitive decline, whether it's early Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, or Lewy body dementia, we're talking about the brain starting to glitch. It's like a reliable old machine where the gears are starting to grind. And here are the three main gears that break first and lead us directly to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Breakdown number 2, the broken clock, circadian rhythms. We all have a master clock inside us, our circadian rhythm. It's what tells us when to sleep and when to be awake. With dementia, this clock is often one of the first things to break. The brain starts confusing day and night. It can't maintain deep, continuous sleep. Your sleep becomes shallow, fragmented, and patchy. And what happens when you're in a light sleep phase? You hear every signal from your body much, much louder. Imagine your bladder is a telephone on vibrate. When you're in deep, restorative sleep, you'd never hear it. But when your sleep is light and patchy, even the slightest signal, a bladder that's only half full, makes you jump awake. The damaged brain simply isn't letting you sleep deeply enough to ignore the signals you would normally sleep right through. Breakdown number 3, loss of control, the frontal lobes. Finally, the most obvious part. Bladder control isn't just a reflex. It's a complex command managed by the CEO of your brain, your frontal lobes. Your frontal lobe is what says, nope, not now, hold it, we're sleeping. With dementia, especially vascular dementia, these command centers get damaged. The connection between the brain and the bladder gets weak. The brain has a harder time hearing the signals, and even worse, has a harder time sending the hold it command. The urges become sudden, urgent, and the brain just gives up. Quick summary. So in round 1, we see that dementia isn't just about forgetting. It's about broken hormones, broken clocks, and broken control. The brain itself is actively sabotaging your sleep. But wait, that's only half the story. That was how a sick brain hurts your sleep. Now, we're going to flip the script. What if your sleep or lack of it is striking back and attacking your brain? Part 2, the brain trap, how nightly awakenings steal your memory. This is the most important part of the video. This is information I believe every single person over 50 needs to hear. For a long time, we thought Nocturia was just an inconvenience. Oh, I'm tired, I'll be grumpy, I'll drink some coffee. But the research from the last few years, for example, a major 2022 review in the Sleep Medicine Reviews journal, paints a very different picture. These studies show that older adults who consistently wake up 2 or more times a night to use the bathroom have a 1.5 to 2 times higher risk of developing cognitive decline and dementia in the future. Remember that number, 1.5 to 2 times. That's not 5%. That's serious. But how? How can a trip to the bathroom possibly hurt your brain? It's not the trip. It's the interruption. Meet your brain's nightly cleaning crew. Imagine your brain is a massive, bustling city, like New York. During the day, it's hard at work. Thoughts, decisions, memories, and just like any city, it produces a lot of trash. In the brain, this trash is toxic proteins, and the most famous one is called beta amyloid, the exact same stuff that builds up in Alzheimer's disease. But our brain has a brilliant janitorial service. It's called the glymphatic system. And here is the critical piece of information. This cleaning crew only comes out at night, and only when you are in the deepest stages of sleep. Only in deep sleep do your brain cells shrink a little, allowing a special fluid, cerebrospinal fluid, to power wash your brain, flushing out all the toxic debris and garbage from the day. Now, what happens when your bladder wakes you up at 2 a.m.? Boom, you're awake. The cleaning is abruptly halted. The crew scatters. You go to the bathroom, you come back, you fall asleep. But here's the trap. It takes time, sometimes 30, 40, or 50 minutes, to get back into that precious deep sleep stage. What if you're woken up again 90 minutes later? And then again? Your brain never gets to the deep, clean cycle. Night after night, week after week, year after year. The result? A catastrophe. The toxic trash, beta amyloid and tau proteins, doesn't get washed away. It stays. It builds up between your nerve cells. It creates plaques and tangles. It slowly but surely poisons your brain, causing chronic inflammation. You are literally not washing your brain. And that is not a metaphor. That is physiology. Danger number 2, the stress hormone in the dark. There's a second problem. Every sudden awakening is a micro-stress for your body. In response, your glands release a jolt of cortisol, the stress hormone. At night, your cortisol should be at 0, but yours is spiking 2, 3, 4 times a night. This nightly cortisol, combined with the inflammation from the uncleared trash, hammers the most vulnerable part of your body, your blood vessels, including the tiny, delicate ones feeding your brain. And there it is, the feedback loop. 1. You wake up often, Nocturia. 2. Your brain doesn't get cleaned, glymphatic system fails. 3. Toxic proteins build up. 4. Stress and inflammation damage your brain's blood vessels. 5. All this, toxins plus bad vessels, speeds up cognitive decline. 6. And a damaged brain, see part 1, gets even worse at controlling your bladder and sleep. It's a vicious cycle. It's a trap, and the longer you're in it, the harder it is to get out. Okay, we get it. Dementia can cause nocturia. Nocturia can worsen dementia. It's a scary picture, but there's a third very important element. Often, both of these problems have common roots. Imagine a tree with 2 big diseased fruits. We can treat one fruit, then the other. But what we really need to do is treat the root. What are these roots that hit both the brain and the bladder at the same time? Root number 1, vascular problems. This is the big one. Hypertension, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes, high blood sugar. How it hits the brain. It damages the tiny blood vessels, causing microstrokes and vascular dementia. How it hits the kidneys, bladder. High blood pressure makes the kidneys work poorly at night. High blood sugar literally pulls water out of your body, making you pee more, and damages the nerves that control your bladder. Root number 2, chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. This is the rust of our body. It rusts our brain cells and it rusts the tissues of our bladder, making them weak and dysfunctional. Root number 3, sleep apnea. This is when you stop breathing for short periods while you sleep. If you or your partner snore loudly and then go quiet or gasp for air, that's it. This is a massive stress. Your brain is starved of oxygen, hypoxia, and the pressure changes in your chest send a false signal to your kidneys. Emergency, dump water now. People with sleep apnea are champions of Nocturia, and they are at the very top of the risk list for dementia. The takeaway from this part, your Nocturia, your memory lapses, your high blood pressure, and your high blood sugar. These aren't four different problems. They are likely four symptoms of one big systemic problem. And that is good news. Yes, you heard me. That's good news. Because if the root is the same, we don't have to fight 100 different diseases. We can treat the one root. And if we start working on that root, we get benefits on every floor. For our sleep, for our head, and for our bladder. We've talked a lot about the problem. Now let's talk only about solutions. I'm not just going to say drink less. That's too simple, and it often doesn't work. We need a smart, comprehensive approach. I'm going to give you 7 practical, science-backed steps you can start discussing with your doctor and implementing today. But before we jump into the solutions, please take a second to like this video. It's not just a way to say thanks for the work that went into it. It also helps YouTube show it to more people who might really need this information. Thank you. Step 1. The water curfew, but be smart. Yes, fluid diming is critical, but the rule isn't don't drink. It's drink smart. The rule, drink your daily quota of water, 6 to 8 glasses in the first half of the day. After 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., stop. What is stop? Not just water, but also soup for dinner and watermelon and milk and tea. The exception, if you need to take medication or have a very dry mouth, you can have 1 or 2 small sips, not a glass. Important, don't dry yourself out. Dehydration during the day, especially for seniors, is dangerous and can, ironically, worsen night urges because your urine becomes too concentrated and irritates the bladder. So, drink up, but do it early. Step 2. Salt and caffeine, the sleep enemies. This is just as important as water. Caffeine, coffee, black tea, colas, chocolate. It's a diuretic, makes you pee. And it's a stimulant that makes your sleep shallow. Remember part 1? Golden rule. No caffeine after 4 p.m. Honestly, 2 p.m. is even better. Salt. Salt makes you retain water during the day. Then, at night, when you finally lie down, your body relaxes. And all that extra fluid you retained in your ankles floods back into your system and heads for your kidneys. This is gravitational edema. Ate salty Chinese food or cold cuts for dinner? Get ready for a busy night. Put the salt shaker away. Read labels. Salt hides in bread, cheese, and processed meats. Step 3. The double void technique. This is a simple behavioral trick. It's especially useful if you feel a sense of incomplete emptying. How to do it? Right before you get into bed, go to the bathroom, just like normal. Then, stand up, go brush your teeth, wash your face, change, and immediately before you get under the covers, sit on the toilet one more time. Even if you don't feel like you have to, just sit, relax for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll be surprised, but almost always a little extra will come out. Those last few drops might buy you 2 to 3 hours of solid sleep. Step 4. Sleep hygiene. Prep for the cleaning crew. To help that glymphatic cleaning crew work, you need to give them the perfect conditions. Darkness. Absolute darkness. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, is only produced in the dark. Get blackout curtains. Cover the LED lights. Coolness. The ideal temperature for sleep is 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 Celsius. Don't be afraid to crack a window or turn down the heat. It's hard to sleep well when you're stuffed. Quiet. If street noise is a problem, use earplugs. Ritual. For 1 hour before bed, no news, no politics, no screens. Phone, tablet. The blue light from those screens tells your brain it's daytime. A paper book, calm music, or a warm bath, not hot, is much better. Step 5. Check your pressure, sugar, and apnea. This is a conversation for your doctor. If you are getting up at night, you must check those common routes. Control your blood pressure and blood sugar. If you're on meds, make sure they're working. Ask your partner, do I snore? Do I gasp or stop breathing in my sleep? If the answer is yes, you need to see a sleep specialist immediately. Treating sleep apnea, often with a CPAP machine, can eliminate nocturia in 50% of cases. It's life-changing, and it saves your brain. Step 6. Check your hormones. Back to the doctor. If nothing is helping, you need to dig deeper. Ask your doctor to check your sodium and blood sugar levels. We covered this. A urine analysis to rule out an infection. And, if possible, your levels of that ADH, antidiuretic hormone, or its markers. Sometimes a deficiency can be corrected. Step 7. Medical help when it's needed. Don't be afraid of medicine. If the behavioral methods don't work and you've ruled out apnea and diabetes, there are special medications. For men, this might be medication for the prostate, though it's often not the prostate's fault. For everyone, there are drugs that calm an overactive bladder. And there are even drugs, like a very low-dose desmopressin, that mimic your natural night manager hormone, telling the kidneys to be quiet at night. These are serious medications, prescribed only by a doctor after an exam. But they exist, and they work. We started this video talking about anxiety. Those 3 a.m. wake-ups when you're standing by the window, worried about your sleep and your mind. Now you know, nocturia and dementia are often two sides of the same coin, but the cycle can be broken. Waking up at night isn't a punishment. It's your body's way of saying, pay attention. Something needs fixing. Start small, one step at a time. Move the salt shaker. Turn off the TV an hour earlier. Talk to your doctor and say, I wake up 2 to 3 times a night. I've heard it's linked to dementia and sleep apnea. Can we check that? You've let your brain work hard your whole life. Now help it rest, repair, and clean itself at night. If this video was helpful, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Don't hesitate to ask your questions. I read every one. Sleep well, stay sharp, and take care of your mind.